1.
Harbor Me, Chapter 2. That first week of September, the rain wouldn't stop. Rivers ran down along the curbs and at the corner near our school. Cars had stalled in the middle of the huge pools of rainwater. Even though it was still warm outside, our classroom felt damp and a little bit cold. Some of the kids were playing with those spinner things. One boy, whose name I forget, had his head down on his desk. I remember his dark curls, the way they fell over his arm. For some reason, those curls spiraling over his arm and down onto the scratched up desk made me sadder than anything. There were 8 of us then. Our small class had come together because the school wanted to try something new. Could they put 8 kids together in a room with one teacher and make something amazing? 8 special kids. Even though they didn't say it, we knew there was something different about us. We had all been in the big classrooms before, and our learning felt like a race we were losing while the other kids sped ahead. We made believe we didn't care that we learned differently, but we knew we did. And the school knew we did. The school knew we got laughed at and teased in the big yard, and that some days we faked stomach aches and sore throats to stay home. It was only September, so no one knew if this experiment would work. But our teacher, Ms. Laverne, was tall and soft spoken and patient. We loved her immediately, and the school itself had huge windows and brightly colored walls. My uncle said it was one of the best schools in the city. I'd been there with Holly since first grade, so I didn't really have any other schools to compare it to. But if nice teachers and rooms filled with lots of windows made something the best, then I guess it was true. By the end of that rainy week, the boy with the curls had moved away, and another girl's mom had come in and fussed about her daughter being smarter than those children, while Miss Laverne shushed her and guided her and her daughter gently out of the room. The girl looked like she wanted to sink into the floor and disappear. We never saw her again, but sometimes I wonder what it would have been like if she had gotten a chance to be a part of the art room, if she'd gotten to hear what we heard, see what we saw. After she and the curly haired boy left, only Miss Laverne and the 6 of us remained. An hour after class started on that Friday, Esteban came in, his head down, his hair slicked wet against his forehead, his Yankees cap dripping with rain. He walked straight to his seat without looking at the rest of us. I watched him sink into his seat so sadly and heavily, it felt like the whole room shivered. His jacket was way too big for him, the shoulders hanging down his arms, the sleeves falling over his hands. I didn't know Esteban yet. I didn't know anyone but Holly, really. But I wanted to get over to him, hug him hard. I didn't hear how dripping wet he was. No one should ever have to look that sad. Do you have a late pass for me, Esteban? Miss Laverne asked. She was standing at the front of the room, her arm stretched out toward the smartboard. I don't remember what was on it. Maybe a globe. Our tiny group that year was a 5th, 6th grade class. This, too, was a school experiment. Is everything okay? Miss Laverne's dark brown face was crisscrossed with worry. Esteban shook his head. I don't have a pass, he said, his voice breaking. We think they took my poppy. Nobody knows where he's at. He put his head down on his desk, his face turned toward the window. Miss Laverne went over to Esteban's desk and bent toward him, her hand on his back. They spoke softly to each other. Maybe they spoke for 5 minutes. Maybe it was an hour. I don't remember. That was a long time ago. So much can change in a minute, an hour, a year.